Welcome, everybody, to an All About Convention webinar. My name is Amy Nelson. I am the current and outgoing Minnesota PTA president. This is my last couple months of my second term, so I've been in this position for 4 years. And this will be my fifth or sixth convention, so it's very exciting that we can all be together. Um, a couple things I just want to kind of highlight about convention, and then I will take some questions at the end um, is why do we do this? Well, first of all, it's required for us to have convention, and then it's our annual meeting of Minnesota PTA. So when you join your local unit, you also become a member of not only your local unit, but also of the state PTA, Minnesota PTA, and of national PTA. And so it's one of those where I call it the bottom up because you join at the bottom and then that gives you the membership to everything above you. And National PTA holds their convention each June, and they either do it virtually or in person. And I encourage everybody to attend that as well, because then you're not only meeting with people from your local unit and your state unit, you're also meeting from people literally all over the world because Minnesota National PTA has 54 congresses, I think, 53 congresses. So in all of the states, the Virgin Islands, they have a European Congress. Um, and so it's a fantastic way to get to meet other people who are all doing the same things that we are doing together and promoting the good work of PTA. So that's the first thing about why we hold convention. We actually have um, our business meeting at convention, and we have elections and any proposed bylaws changes or anything major that's happening. Um, and in this year, we have a couple things with our business meeting that I'll talk briefly about before I start going through that. So the first is elections. We have our slate is being announced tomorrow. Um, so we have people running for president, vice president, and secretary. We still need a treasurer, um, but that is something that will come, I'm sure. Those are our elected positions. All other positions are on recommendation of the president, and then they are voted on by the Minnesota PTA Board of Directors. So that's why we only vote on those four at convention. The other big thing we have at convention this year is last year at National PTA's convention, the membership there voted for a $1 increase in dues going to National PTA, which would bring them their dues from 225 to 325. So as you may know, your unit pays $6.25 to the state of Minnesota to be a member to be part of Minnesota PTA and part of National PTA. Of that $6.25, $4 stays in Minnesota and pays for our office space and pays for our amber, and pays for us to, put on different road shows and trainings and things like that. So that's what those $4 do. Then the other 225 currently goes to national, and that has been 225 going to national for over 20 years, I think, or almost 20 years. So they voted to put in a $1 increase starting July of 2025, because as you know, our fiscal year runs kind of in tandem with the school year. So we start taking new memberships in July. And so their dues going to national will be $3.25. Our proposal coming from Minnesota PTA that is going to get voted on by the PTA members who attend convention, is that we would delay this increase for our local units for 1 year, which means that we would send the $3.25 to national, but we would only retain $3 instead of the $4 in Minnesota. So that's step one. So we would delay the dues increase for 1 year for our local units. But then what would happen in July of 2026 is everybody's dues would go up by $1.75. And the reason for that would be that would cover the dollar going to national. And then Minnesota PTA would raise our dues by 75 cents, which is something that hasn't happened in over 10 years, I think. to continue paying for everything. So instead of each unit sending us $6.25 starting in 2026, each unit will send Minnesota PTA $8 per member to be part of Minnesota PTA and of National PTA. Now, this may sound really confusing right now. I assure you, excuse me, we have a table, we have an explanation. We'll be talking about this at convention. Um, but that is the proposal that Minnesota PTA is putting out there. If that does not pass at convention, then what will happen is the dues increase will start immediately, $1 more a month or per member in July of 2025. Now, like I said, this may sound really confusing. I wish I had the graphic, but it'll be coming out tomorrow. Excuse me. It'll be coming out tomorrow in a newsletter going to all of our members, explaining this in more detail with a graphic. But that is kind of a big deal. This is the first time we've had some big, a big vote like this in a couple of years. We've made some minor bylaws changes over the past few years, especially after quarantine during COVID. But this is kind of a big deal because dues impact everybody. But it is worth it for our units to pay for dues because you get things like this training, you get things like convention, you get an Amber to call if you have any questions, you have board members who are here to help you navigate situations. So please consider this proposal when you see it come out tomorrow. And if you have opinions on it, and if you want to have a vote, if you think, yeah, this is great, come to convention because this is where you get to vote for the Minnesota PTA future leaders and also for the future of the organization and association as it impacts you. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of that business meeting. Like I said, you'll be getting that all tomorrow in an email. And so make sure you watch for that because we are required to let our membership know 30 days in advance about any major changes like the dues increase or like elections. So we have bylaws just like our local units do. If you have any questions about this, I encourage you to put them in the chat and then I will come back and circle back, but I don't want to lose those questions. But I want to keep going since we're kind of talking. I want to keep the momentum going. So one thing I want to say is about convention is the most important thing you can do is come because that is where you're going to get all of those resources. So I'm going to turn off my screen and I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to show you where you can register. So if you go to our website, there's two really easy ways to do it. So our website is www.mnpta.org, and that will bring you to this page right here. So I'm trying to get, there we go. I'm trying to get my face off there. And so you can see right here, there's a link that will bring you right to our convention page, or if you go under programs and events and click on convention, it shows you right here. Registration is open, and thanks to generous grant, our early bird is only $50 a person. Now, this is half of what we have charged the last 3 years because of some generous grants we've received from National PTA to expand our reach. We really just want to show how important membership in PTA is. You can attend convention if you are not a member, but then you have a higher price to pay. So you may as well become a member and join your local unit and support PTA. Before I go to the register today to attend, we have some sponsors and exhibits. If you want to be an exhibitor at convention, there's a form for you to fill out. And then here's some information about, what convention is. So, what do you need to know? Well, this is an opportunity for you to learn and grow and meet other leaders. One of the best things about convention is you get to talk to other people who are doing the same things you are, or I shouldn't say doing the same things, going through the same things you are, and maybe doing them differently or have great ideas. It's a great time to share all of those ideas. You get to learn about national programs. We're going to have a huge push on advocacy this year. National PTA is really working hard to make sure that the Department of Education stays intact because of all of the things it does for all of our students. We also have a number of other position statements that we'll be sharing. Um, you'll also get to take some workshops to work on your abilities and knowledge. We have some guest speakers, get tips on communicating with parents and school staff. And then the tips and tricks, like I said, those are huge. Um, just to be able to talk to everybody. Registration cost covers the services that PTA provides during the convention. So the space, you get lunch, you get snacks, you get swag, you get all sorts of stuff. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people to get out and meet other PTA people. So, as I said, the most important thing you can do for convention is to register to attend. So, if you register to attend, it's going to bring you to our give backs. Now, this is another thing, this used to be Member Hub, now it's give backs. But this is something that you could do too using Member Hub. This is free to our units to use. This is where we capture um, all of our members. This is where we communicate with you. This is where you're able to upload compliance items. Givebacks is great. And so we started using this a few years ago for registration. You'll notice that, this has the registration, leadership training and convention. We have 23 days to register before our event because we want to make sure that we have enough food for everybody. And then if you keep scrolling down, it'll have the event registration. So prior to March 22nd, so get your registration in now for that $50. You just add it to the cart and follow through. After March 22nd, it is $65 to help cover some of that. We will have some visitors, non-members, guest registration. So there are things like that you can register for right on here. This FAQs is the same one that's on our website. So if you clicked on convention FAQs, it would bring you here. So the agenda, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Who should attend? Anyone, any PTA member. This isn't just for PTA leaders. When is convention? April 12th. Where is the convention? It is in Bloomington. This is a great space for us to meet at the Masonic Heritage Center. There are hotel rooms. There's a block of hotel rooms for a group rate. Dress code, come as you are. Be comfortable. We're going to be working together all day. Breakfast and lunch. Yes, I already said that. Will we provide refunds? No, we do not provide refunds, but we are happy to transfer your registration to another person. And are scholarships available? Yes. Scholarships were supposed to be turned in by 5 o'clock yesterday. But if you're on this webinar or watching this webinar, go ahead and fill out that scholarship application by this Friday, and we will see what we can do. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So that was a lot of information that I just threw at you, but I think it's just really important that the best thing to know about convention is that everybody is welcome. And we just really want our members to come. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say in all of my years of going to convention, oh, I wish I wouldn't have come. Everybody takes something out of it. They get some learning and training and connections and contacts, and it is just really a fantastic opportunity for everybody to be together. So once you register for convention, what's going to happen next? Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to share our schedule from last year. Sorry, I thought I had it pulled up. There we go. Sorry about that. So each year we do something a little different with convention. So this year's schedule probably won't look exactly like this, but it'll give you a general overview of what we do. So we have a check-in, we have a time just come in and have some coffee and conversation, find a table, kind of get settled, and then at 9:15 is our welcome. Part of the reason we start a little later on 9:15 is if you want to come in from somewhere outside of the Twin Cities area, it's, it can still you can still drive in and out for the day. We do, like I said, do have hotels. Sometimes people will stay Friday night, sometimes people will stay Saturday night. That's totally up to you. Um, we usually have somebody from National PTA who speaks. Unfortunately, they can't attend this year, but we will have at least a recorded um, message and then hopefully an interactive Q&A with them. We always have something about advocacy because that is the number one purpose of PTA, is to really make sure that we're out there and advocating for all of our members and our children and our teachers and our schools, because we are there for everything public schools. We have a business meeting. This business meeting this year will look a little bit more than this because, like I said, we have the proposed dues increase, and we also have no, and we also have elections. So our business meeting will look a little different. A mix and mingle breakout session where you can go and visit our vendors who come. They have a variety of vendors coming, like from nonprofits who are willing to, work with you, to High Tech Kids has been there a number of years. We have AIM Insurance, which is another very important thing. We have some fundraising ideas. So all of these things are at our vendors. Then we will have a lunch service. And that's just a little bit of downtime. You can keep talking with vendors, things like that. We usually will have some sort of table topic breakout. And then there's always workshops. And so we're still kind of working a little bit on our workshops. We know that AIM will be there again this year. We know that we'll have something with advocacy. We know that we'll have something with PTA Connected and Healthy Minds. Everything else is kind of still in the works. I'm going to skip down to the reflections dinner. We're not holding a reflections dinner this year. And so we might actually go right up until 5 or 5:30, have a little bit more time for networking in the afternoon. But there will be information about reflections and all our national programs. Probably that might be another workshop as I'm talking out loud here or thinking out loud. So that just kind of gives you an idea of an overview of the day, and we build in some breaks. We, do some different idea swaps. One thing we're working on doing this year, excuse me, is having a panel of people who have gone on into leadership positions after being involved with PTA, people who've gone on to school board members and other things like that. So that's something in the works. But we usually try to have our convention schedule out at least a week before convention, but it's always subject to change, right? Oh, where am I? There we go. So the other thing that I want to highlight about convention is that it's a time where we are able to give out membership awards, where we recognize our reflections winners, where we really just get to celebrate being part of an amazing worldwide, nationwide association and the good work that we are doing. And this year, more than ever, it is so important that we get together and elevate our advocacy voice, and make sure that public schools are a safe and equal place for all of our students, all of our public school students. It is just a crazy time right now, and we really need to be working on stuff together. The last thing I'm going to share with you quick is, sorry, I was going to share our convention program with you. I'm not going to flip through it all because it is kind of long, but I do feel like it's an important thing that you get to see. So our convention program, so it has the schedule, but then it also has, the business meeting. from the year before. Oh, where am I going? Oh, I don't know. Sorry. I know what happened. I went the wrong way. There we go. I was scrolling the wrong way. Table of contents, um, messages from leaders, convention schedule. And then we also have our convention rules, which are pretty easy. Convention business meeting, Little Robert's rules. Oh, I should also say that every unit that comes gets a special swag bag that has some information in it. Last year we gave out some money bags. Um, there's all sorts of stuff that you'll be getting when you come. So I'm just going to keep scrolling through this for a little bit. Some of our opportunities. This is where it goes back to where I say we have these 4 elected officers, and then everything else kind of fills out. Excuse me. A list of past presidents, current board members, our legislative and policy agendas, of course, which is our advocacy. Oh, how we PTA, pictures of us all together at LegCon. So this is what LegCon looks like when you get to go in person. PTA reflections winners. And this is what I'm trying to get to. PTA year at a glance. This is a very helpful sheet for all of our units. It kind of tells you a little bit about kind of how the flow of the year goes. So that's something that's really important. As I said, membership awards, new units. We're always adding new units. And just thank you for being here. And there's a spot to take notes right at the end. So save the date. So that is kind of what that program looks like. And yes, that was a super quick zoom through of it, but I think it just gives you an idea of all the information that you're going to get when we're together at convention. So please, if you haven't registered yet, do so, get it done. And we hope to see you in 1 month and 1 day, 32 days, because there's 31 days in March, right? Isn't that how that works? We hope to see you on Saturday, April 12th in Bloomington. Thanks so much for coming today.